Gen Z ni, kalau kau tak tahu aku sakat ni kena kecam ke apa kan.
Jangan minta kena kecam.
Harap tak. Chill dulu. Okay, macam ni lah.
Dia orang dapat track everything dalam satu apps. Dan apps tu pula clean, apps tu pula smooth, lepas tu UI UX dia lawa. So dia orang akan stay bro. Kan, dia orang akan stay. Sama juga kalau macam dia orang pergi gym, kalau gym tu cantik, bersih, dia orang akan stay. Kan, dia orang akan subscribe ke whatsoever kan. Dia orang assign PT ke yang handsome, cantik-cantik. Contoh kan. Hai, Assalamualaikum. Selamat datang ke Sukan Pro Podcast. Podcast yang mana kita bincangkan tentang performance, sains dan juga kesihatan. Okay, termasuk sekali dengan lifestyle. So, episod kali ni, saya masih lagi tidak keseorangan. Saya ada dengan partner saya sendiri dekat sini. Which is kita nak borakkan tentang topik hari ini adalah berkaitan dengan Gen Z.
Terbaik topik kau.
The rise of Gen Z in a wellness culture in Malaysia. Okay. So, Gen Z ni dia adalah di kalangan umur daripada 16 sehingga ke 28 tahun. Okay. Yang mana diorang ni, okay, Gen Z ni lah yang pegang power yang paling besar. Okay, especially dekat social media ni lah. Okay. Dan diorang ni juga yang paling obses dengan wellness. Okay. Tapi diorang punya wellness ni ada sedikit version lah. Ada version yang lain sikit. Okay. Diorang ni bukan setakat nak pergi gym saja. Okay. Bukan setakat nak berdiet saja. Tapi diorang ni lah yang ada yang ketengahkan whoop bands. Okay. Diorang step goals. Macam-macam lagi. Okay. So itu yang kita nak borakkan pada hari ni. Okay. So kita nak jawab satu soalan yang besar. Kenapa Gen Z dekat Malaysia ni, Sean? Okay. Tiba-tiba dia jadi generasi yang paling serius tentang kesihatan. Macam mana, Sean?
Yeah, betul tu. I mean, it's like, bagi aku try to brain lah Gen Z ni kan. Sebab Gen Z ni, kalau kau tak tahu aku sakat ni kena kecam ke apa kan.
Jangan minta kena kecam.
Harap tak. Chill dulu. Okay, macam ni lah. So bagi aku, this is like based on my observation lah. Tengok Gen Z ni, diorang ni banyak ikut trend. Trend-trend semasa, trend and so on. And macam kau cakap tadi lah, diorang ni boleh jadi buat apa ni, into the sports because of the trend, because of the lifestyle yang diorang rasa. Because like majority of Gen Z are influencers. Kan? So diorang nak, in a way aku nak cakap simple je, diorang nak gain popularity lah. How I want to gain popularity and how to use popular things to get trending. Or to get themselves better lah. So dia percaya yang social media ni is one of the lifestyle diorang, and just follow by. I mean, this is my own thoughts lah. Tapi,
so itulah yang kita nak discuss dekat episod ni. Episod ni sedikit deep. Okay, so kita akan kupas tentang macam mana the rise of Gen Z, okay, wellness culture dekat Malaysia ni. So, Sean, apa yang aku nampak sebenarnya, okay, Gen Z ni berbeza daripada millennials, okay, dan juga Gen X lah. Kita boleh sebab sekarang ni macam-macam punya generation yang diberi nama kan. Okay, so itu yang bila kita tengok Gen Z ni, dia different sikit. Macam aku beritahu tadi masa kat intro, which is diorang ni pegang buying power paling besar sekarang dekat Malaysia. Okay, so diorang ni lah yang pegang TikTok lah, Instagram lah, Facebook mungkin kurang sikit kot. Okay, Facebook untuk orang-orang millennials contoh. Okay, so diorang grow up dengan short info. Okay, info 5 minit, benda tu kan. So apa kau rasa tentang benda ni, okay, yang kau rasa Gen Z ni different bila kita cakap tentang wellness ni?
Apa yang buat Gen Z ni different? I think it's like, put it in this way, right? So Gen Z ni dia more kepada percaya benda yang dia nampak. Means it's like dia percaya more on system and tracking, right? Because macam kau cakap dia grow up in social media, lifestyle dia pegang and so on. So for them, they always look at it into like a small metric. Like for example, because they grow up dengan TikTok and so on, right? They tengok short info, they tengok quick hacks, data and so on. What I mean by data, basically like for example, if they post something, they always tengok that berapa interaction dia dapat, how many likes, how many view. I think that is matters them the most, basically, right? I think that kind of attitude makes them to move forward, where if diorang buat something, is there something that they can see, right? So like measurable data, for example, right? So that is something that dia dah tengok. And aku rasa one of the thing yang diorang takut in term of failure is diorang takut burn out.
Betul.
I think that is like, that is the reality.
Sebenarnya semua orang takut burn out.
Exactly.
Kan?
So that is one. And then other than that, I think add on that, takut burnout daripada failure.
Betul.
So because like diorang sometimes they willing to fail, but the thing is diorang tak boleh koyak. Koyak. Sorry guys, aku rasa aku transparent lah. So it's like kalau diorang koyak tu is something that important. They're looking into that particular end. And so that's one. And then it's like, other than that, aku nampak kat sini, diorang guna wellness ni bukan sebagai lifestyle. They guna more on their identity. So
good point.
For example, like this X person. So dia letak diri dia ialah I'm a gym guy. Gym buddy. I mean, I'm just giving an example, and jangan terasa lah apa sadu-sadu kat sana kan. So it's like, I think it's like, I think that is the thing, like dia akan setiap hari dia akan cerita pasal hari ni dia pergi sini, dia pergi sana, makan telur, makan ayam, makan salad. Dan pagi pukul 6 dia pergi gym. Sebelum pergi gym dia tunjuk journey dia lagi.
Vlog.
Yes, vlog. Dia buat vlog, dia bangun and everything kan. And then dia tunjuk like snapshot of the program. And after that dia beritahu, okay, today I'm done for the day. Tomorrow dia up gambar dia, gambar bicep dia, for example, right? I think and then they're looking for comments, feedback and everything. I think it's something that kita pun ketengahkan, which is like, I think episode sebelum ni kita cakap yang kita measure metrics, measure performance, measure improvement, keystone kan. So but the thing is like diorang measure in a different way with the audience. I think that is a key differentiator lah.
So betul lah, aku setuju yang mana kalau sebelum ni generation macam kita ni, kita pergi gym sebenarnya sebab kita nak fit.
Exactly.
But Gen Z sekarang ni diorang pergi sebab dia tengok, oh gym ni cantik kan. Gym ni basically banyaknya tentang, kita boleh panggil juga self-care lah. Self-care lah. So diorang punya language ni sangat berbeza. Diorang punya language berbeza. So daripada situ dia orang buatkan diorang mindset change. But at the end of the day, diorang capai je apa yang diorang nak capai, which is diorang nak getting better day by day.
It's just in a different way.
Yes. So itulah antara salah satu faktor yang mana Gen Z ni dia obsess. Ada aku nampak ramai sebenarnya. Ramai Gen Z, kalau kita tengok, kita belik-belik dekat social media, kita tengok ramai je Gen Z yang upload diorang cara how to run 5 km contoh, how to dekat mana tempat ada pilates yang murah. Well, it's a good info, especially untuk orang macam kita, betul tak? So pada aku, kalau aku rasa macam dekat gym ni menarik kan, so murah pula tu. So dia murah daripada gym-gym yang well known dekat luar sana, which is gym high end lah, aku bagi tahu. Tapi dia punya facility bagus, mesin dia cantik, tempat dia bersih, orang dia people dekat situ nice kan. So 3 faktor yang aku rasa jadikan Gen Z ni obsess dengan kesihatan ni. Salah satu dia adalah because of dia orang punya mental health awareness lah.
I think like adding back, right, aku pun, it's a good point. Aku pun ada question on that, right, which is like apa yang main factor contribute into Gen Z jadi obsessed dengan kesihatan. And so there's a lot, I mean, maksud aku macam in the way, right? So there's banyak faktor untuk Gen Z obsessed in something.
Yes,
Right?
betul.
So one of the factor yang aku tengok, like some Gen Z, dia really obsessed gila dengan kesihatan. I mean, it's like there's a lot of things. Means like in terms of the healthy food. Aku pun ada nampak kat beberapa content yang couple of people did, like they're just talking about how to achieve a good healthy food, good diet.
Okay.
In the same time, macam kau mention lah, mana nak cari activity yang
Betul.
best, facility and nice, with like a forgiving price and so on. And so I think this is the thing, right? But I think the most kind of crucial is Gen Z ni dia ada satu trend yang senang jadi obsessed, right? So the hook is, what are the obsessed in term of their kesihatan?
Faham? Okay. Itulah macam apa yang aku punya point of view aku nampak adalah, kalau dulu masa zaman kita bukannya tak ada masalah anxiety.
Correct.
Bukannya tak ada masalah stres, bukannya tak ada masalah burnout, tapi benda tu tak di-emphasize kan.
I think
Betul
education lah. Betul lah macam kau cakap,
education kan.
Education lah. So, last time anxiety tu kita stress.
Betul. Kita rasa kita stres tu, anxiety tak ada istilah dulu introvert extrovert, ada istilah tu, tapi kita tak diketengahkan.
Exactly. Macam dulu aku rasa macam kalau aku tak perform ke apa ke, ataupun fear of something, aku rasa stress.
Betul.
Kan? Kena tekan buat kerja, stress. Dia bukan mental health, dia stress, everything stress kan. I think it's like gradually is when we talking about this, a lot of things it turn out to be like, aku pun like last, I think we started to hear about this a lot during COVID period.
Okay.
Kan, betul tak?
Betul.
I mean, mental health, anxiety. I think mental health the most lah.
Betul.
And I think
Yelah sebab Gen Z ni dia masuk university pun time COVID kan.
Yep.
Which is most of them daripada rumah.
Betul.
Belajar dari rumah kan. So daripada situlah yang bila dia banyak stuck dekat rumah, dia tak boleh nak buat socialize, tak boleh nak reach out dengan kawan-kawan, unless online lah kan. So itu yang pada aku rasa dia ubah diorang punya priority. Okay, so diorang lebih kepada lebih pada penggunaan social media. Okay, diorang ada banyak akses nak portray diorang punya knowledge. Sebab dekat TikTok ni you just need to explain 30 second je bro.
Yep.
Kan, 30 second tu lah kau nak hook lah, kau nak apa semua kau pump kat situ.
Betul.
At the end of the day, the info tu sampai. Yes, ada je yang kata ada info yang bukan semua kan, menari-menari lah. Kita put aside lah benda tu, kita cari info yang berkaitan dengan kita. Sebab apa yang kita search, itulah algoritma yang akan masuk ke kita. So kalau kita search yang bukan-bukan, so yang bukan-bukan lah algoritma tu masuk ke kita. But mostly dekat dalam aku punya TikTok, basically dia sharekan benda-benda yang gitulah. Sebab aku nampak nowadays Gen Z yang banyak share kan pasal benda-benda ni. Macam aku cakap tadi lah, mana nak cari gym yang selesa, tempat pilates, tempat training anak-anak ni sesuai tak untuk family benda semua. Gen Z dia memang right person lah pada aku untuk talk about this. Tidaklah aku kata gen lain tu tidak sesuai, tidak. Tapi sebab diorang ni pegang buying power yang paling besar sekali sekarang ni. So diorang ni basically ada banyak exposure tentang benda-benda ni. Betul tak Sean?
Yeah, aku setuju bro. Benda ni a lot of things because it's like I think, put in the simple way, they are influencing you in terms of making decisions.
Betul.
And so it's like not only on the wellness part, in everything like branding, semua benda.
Yep.
Right. So and then for me, this is good because for us, kita kan, contohnya for example, aku nak beli X brand, ataupun aku nak participate in X activity.
Okay.
Aku nak tengok like, adakah benda ni best? Duit ke tak kan?
Betul. Kau akan review dekat?
Kau just tengok je kan. So like within, aku tak nak tengok video 1 hour.
Yelah, of course lah.
Of course siapa nak tengok kan? Or I don't want to waste my time go to the place. So aku just like search or hashtag ke apa ke, then I will see that, oh man, this 30 second, the 30 second video explains the story. And so I think this is like generally is a good thing. It's like, of course there is a lot of negativity behind, tapi I think it's like, obviously technology lead you to good and bad stuff.
Yes.
So if you're looking into a good thing, then obviously it's going to be lead into the good things, right? So it's like, I think benda ni pun relate dengan apa wellness behaviour Gen Z kat Malaysia sekarang ni. Betul tak? So I mean apa kau rasa diorang punya behaviour at the moment?
Gen Z punya wellness behaviour kat Malaysia sekarang ni apa yang aku nampak, diorang ni lebih suka kepada fitness group. Okay. Pilates, Zumba, high intensity training. So itu yang aku nampak, yang mana diorang lebih suka kepada group fitness. Okay, sebab daripada group fitness tu diorang, yelah, kalau contoh macam spinning class, contoh spinning class dengan dia punya ambience dia, dengan environment dia semua kan, benda tu nampak nice untuk diorang. So diorang suka benda tu, Gen Z suka benda tu. Okay. Dan antara lain dia adalah diorang ni dia suka gadget. Okay.
Exactly.
Dia suka gadget. Okay. Keluar je contohlah wearable device yang baru, contoh apa brand X brand lah yang baru, kita nampak yang diorang ni yang paling beria nak dapatkan dulu kan. Diorang nak dapatkan this kind of smartwatch ke, this kind of bands and everything semua kan. So diorang ni yang akan dapatkan dahulu. Okay. Dan juga diorang ni suka apps yang boleh track everything. Okay, so kita panggil benda tu one stop center. Okay, one stop center yang boleh track everything. Okay, so that diorang, bila diorang dapat track everything dalam satu apps, the apps tu pula clean, apps tu pula smooth, lepas tu UI UX dia lawa, so diorang akan stay bro. Kan, diorang akan stay. Sama juga kalau macam diorang pergi gym, kalau gym tu cantik, bersih, diorang akan stay. Diorang akan subscribe ke whatsoever kan. Diorang assign PT ke yang handsome, cantik-cantik. Contoh kan. So bila diorang suka benda yang estetik macam tu, so kita sebagai sukan pro pun kita nak orang kata apa, nak try tu blend in dengan Gen Z ni juga kan.
Betul. I mean aku setuju lah, sebab recently pun aku tengok ramai kat suka share about like, I think the common sharing in social media aku selalu nampak maybe aku nak mention kat apa, Strava
okay.
Everyone run berapa kilometer dia akan upload.
Betul.
And like other than that, like diorang pun suka buat gamification within their friend, like,
betul,
which is the Apple Watch group apa semua kan. Diorang suka tengok macam tu. I think they also trying to look at it in like a community basis as well. Kan. I think macam kita bincang Sukan Pro is about community, but I think Gen Z proof this concept where community help them to build their confidence,
betul,
move forward. And I think this is like one of the good things from the Gen Zs as well, right? In terms of the wearable ni fancy ya bro.
Betul.
So it's from fancy and so on. So a lot of things from X brands. And diorang pun banyak buat review and sharing. I think benda ni is a very good complementary lah untuk semua orang yang try to look for a good gadget for themselves. Right. So yeah. Other than that, aku rasa diorang ni suka benda yang balance.
Okay.
And aku tak tahu kau setuju ke tak tapi ni benda yang aku selalu tengok sebab aku punya circles pun ada jugalah Gen Z. Always lah kita kena mingle around with everyone. So I was like, the thing is like, diorang ni suka kepada kerja, social, and then wellness, and at the same time diorang banyak tekankan kat mental health. So it's like, because like for me, I professionally blend with many companies, and some of the companies are banyak Gen Z. Right, so one of the key upcoming things aku tengok dengan Gen Z ni lah, basically diorang kalau rasa stressed out ke, burn out ke, dia nak apply leave. It's different than our generation.
Betul.
And so diorang nak healing. Healing tree. Healing fitness. So diorang suka more on that. I think other than that, one thing aku drag on my attention is diorang very open. Diorang suka buat journaling, share vibes and everything. I think it's like, which is not many people do. But like this kind of like group of millennials are doing it, right? So I think culturally it improved in terms of the sports. I mean, not only sports, basically it's more on like mental well-being. Because part of the sports punya konsep ialah when you are mentally clear, stable, you are in a good condition, you able to perform better in sport.
Okay.
At the same time, if sports help you to make your life better in terms of your mental health and in terms of your I will say sport performance as well. So it's like they're related.
Okay.
On both. Sport akan give you this kind of benefit, and mental health also give you this kind of benefit
Okay.
in terms of your performance as well. So I think benda ni correlate banyak benda.
Okay.
And so where creates a lot of metrics for us to measure and understand your body well. Right? Yeah.
Okay, so betul lah tu. Memang ya masa yelah bila whenever we want to do something new, of course lah kita nak buat market survey, betul tak? So aku boleh relate satu daripada apa yang aku bagi tu tadi masa aku buat market survey. Okay, about to build this Sukan Pro lah. Okay, so aku buat market survey dekat Gen Z. Okay, so aku pergi satu universiti ni, so aku buat street punya market survey. So aku tanya diorang, apa sebenarnya wellness means to you? Okay, apa sebenarnya wellness? Dan satu jawapan yang diorang bagi dekat aku adalah yang aku rasa this person bagi jawapan kat aku rasa macam this person is rare. Okay, dan bila aku tanya orang lain, dia pun bagi similar answer.
Okay.
Which is sleep score.
Sleep score? Seriously,
Sleep score. Aku cakap, okay, then aku tanya dia, kenapa you mention about sleep score? Kan, sebab dia kata sleep score ni lah yang bantu dia buat recovery. Walaupun dia cuma seorang student. See? Okay. Seorang student, bila dia boleh faham tentang sleep score, dia boleh membantu sleep score tu boleh membantu kepada dia punya stress tu tadi. And sleep score tu tadi dia boleh bantu kepada dia punya mental health tu tadi. Okay. So bila kita okay, tidur awal, okay, dan kita cukup tidur 6 jam 7 jam based on your body lah. Okay, basically 6 hours lah kita tidur. Okay, katalah you tidur pukul 10 dan you bangun pukul 4 pagi contoh. Okay, bangun 4 pagi as a Muslim, bangun 4 pagi is good lah.
Exactly.
Okay, ataupun you tidur pukul 11 malam dan you bangun pukul 5 pagi. Okay, so dia dah cukup dah sebenarnya, body tu dah cukup dah. So bila dia bangun dia dah rasa fresh. Bila dia rasa fresh, then barulah dia senang nak buat assignment lah, dia nak pergi kelas happy, mood dia tune kan. So bila dia track dia punya HRV dia punya mental health score dia is good. So benda tu yang membantu diorang. Dan kalau kita tengok sekarang ni berapa ramai Gen Z yang score grad, okay, convo 3.8, 3.9 full flat bersepah.
Ya, betul.
Betul tak? Masa zaman kita dulu rare lah benda tu. Kau nak tengok dekat atas stage tu, faham tak? Rare benda tu. Tapi sekarang ni dia dah jadi macam biasa. Sebab apa? Sebab dia orang sendiri dah aware tentang macam mana dia nak handle, macam mana dia nak cater the stress, macam mana dia orang nak cater the anxiety and everything. Okay, dan sebab itulah kita Sukan Pro, kita pun nak cuba masuk, kita nak fill in the gap. Okay, sebab kita dapat nampak yang mana benda ni sangat perlu untuk performance metric kita. Walaupun you bukan seorang atlet. Yes. Okay, so student pun kita boleh juga pakai benda ni, even you student ataupun you orang kata apa young adults, dia bagi benda tu kan. Okay, so you pun boleh pakai benda ni walaupun you tak bersukan and everything, tapi kita still ada offer dekat dalam Sukan Pro, which is you boleh key in. Okay, you boleh key in your data and everything so that you can keep track all the performance for yourself. Okay, so itulah yang salah satu yang daripada soalan yang aku bagi tu tadi. Okay, sleep, recovery and heart rate measurement and everything. Okay, kau rasa macam mana?
Aku rasa benda tu I mean it's a good thing. I mean because it's like they try to understand their body.
Okay.
Well kan. So but the thing is like aku pun tertanya agak kan. So wellness trend pun there's a lot of things.
Betul.
Right. Tapi wellness culture pun ada something yang kita ketengahkan juga.
Okay, cop. Okay, bila kau cakap tentang wellness ni, okay, aku nak tanya kat kau. Okay, despite of all the good things we said daripada tadi kan, okay, dia mesti ada
dark side.
The dark side dia.
Aku dah agak.
Kau rasa apa masalah wellness trend yang ada dekat dalam wellness trend, masalah yang ada wellness trend dekat Gen Z sekarang?
I think main thing aku tengok kat sini sekarang kan, masalah yang paling crucial adalah information is overload. So kenapa aku cakap benda ni? Sebenarnya like there's a lot of information out there. Tapi information tu adakah kena dengan diri kau?
Okay. Faham?
Kan? Macam for example, kau nak tengok, okay, let's say we talk about sports lah.
Okay.
Since this is the relevant market yang kita tengah bincang kan. So like, how I gonna improve myself in playing tennis for example. Right. So dekat social media, or name it, whatever platform it is, there's more than 1,000 videos. And daripada kau nak serve, kau nak lari, kau punya footwork and everything. But do you know that what are the suitable for you?
Betul.
Tak ada orang tahu basically kan. Kau pun tak tahu diri kau punya level tu kat mana.
Betul.
Kan. For example macam contoh aku lah. Kalau main tenis, aku tahu aku punya kelemahan kat mana. Kan. Tapi kalau anak aku nak main, aku pun tak tahu anak aku punya level tu kat mana. Kan. So maybe aku nampak anak aku is a good, dia boleh serve, boleh return. But the thing is, adakah dia boleh control the game?
Betul.
Kan. Tapi bagi dia akan tengok video. Dia kata, Dede, you see, I see this video, boleh buat macam ni, kita boleh buat macam ni. Swing tangan macam ni, kita buat macam ni. Tapi adakah benda tu kena dengan dia?
Betul.
Sebab orang yang buat video untuk that kind of information, they already, I will say that, not say pro, they have been doing that for years. Sedangkan kita buat benda tu baru berapa kali je. And so like how it's going to be gel well. I think that is like a crucial part lah. I think another part is like kita tak dapat, in this reality world, kita tak dapat identify whether there is a real gurus or fake gurus. So today aku boleh buat satu video yang aku pakai singlet, aku pakai ni, hey, you wanna be
nak bench press, okay macam ni kan.
Come to sixpackshortcut.com. Kan Mamat tu pernah trending kan. Sekarang tak tahu apa jadi. So it's like, last time there's one or two people like that. But the thing is like, sekarang ada banyak. So like everyone boleh cerita pasal diri, apa yang dia nak and everything. Adakah benda ni betul ke tak kan. So other than that, aku rasa key point yang aku nampak kat sini ialah comparison culture.
Comparison culture.
Yes.
Okay.
So in term of comparison culture, I think it's a very subjective lah. So maybe diorang nak tengok like lifestyle orang kat this continent is like this. Dia rasa dia pun boleh buat dekat Malaysia. And when dia tak tahu yang dekat Malaysia ni kita tak ada this kind of facilities. I'm just generally talking, right? This kind of facilities, this kind of nutrition and this kind of thing. Not to say Malaysia ni tak bagus. Malaysia ni bagus. There's a lot of things. But whether this suits your culture or not.
Okay.
Right? For example, dia punya diet ada makanan tak halal. Adakah
Betul.
kita boleh follow? And so, dia punya diet is like tak ada fasting, for example. Kita ada fasting. So, kita kena fast on that particular period. Macam mana kita nak. And so, I think this is small examples lah aku boleh bagi tahu. Other than that, I think benda ni yang important tau. Sebab if they don't understand the right culture, macam mana dia nak identify the right fit for them. So I think there's too much information tied back to all this lah. And then lastly aku rasa benda ni I would say that diorang obsessed dengan tracking yang tak sepatutnya.
Okay.
Right. For example, kalau diorang tak understand diri diorang dengan betul, macam mana dia nak know what's right thing.
Okay, contoh aku bagi tu satu. Okay, aku nak tanya kau soalan susulan. Sorry mencelah. Sekarang ni trending pickleball and paddle.
Yep.
Okay, it's trending. Bila kau cakap tracking soalan apa tadi, jawapan tadi, tracking apa? Tracking tak tally. Tracking terlebih-lebih lah tracking contoh. Overtracking. Okay. So contohlah pickleball dengan paddle. Okay. So kau rasa apa yang Gen Z nak ni sebenarnya daripada tracking, daripada contoh macam sukan tu tadi lah kita panggil pickleball and paddle kan. So tracking measurement macam mana yang Gen Z suka?
Aku tengok sekarang kan, okay, simple lah. I think paddle, okay, we put the paddle aside. So paddle dengan pickleball is a very different diversity, right? So in term of pickleball and macam aku pun main ke follow the trend.
Of course. Kalau korang nak tahu, tak payah bagi tahu. Sean ni dia famous. Okay, tak payah bagi tahu.
So pickleball ni basically kau di sini. So pickleball basically dia macam ni tau. So aku tengok pickleball sekarang viral among the influencer, among the artists and everything. And ada juga yang cakap alah, actually dia ni tak pandai main pun, tapi nak main ke video, tapi dia orang lagi famous daripada ni. But you need to understand the niche market lah. So they are attacking the different niche market and you are professionally competing, right? But the thing is, apa yang Gen Z selalu nampak kat sini ialah the wrong tracking. One of the example aku boleh bagi tahu lah. In pickleball dia ada lupa.
Okay.
Kan? So mungkin the KOLs or other influencers or other, I mean the Gen Zs lah, dia orang fall under a different duper category. And for example, maybe they are 3.0, 4.0.
Okay.
I mean 3.0 lah, 4.0 dah pro players.
Okay. Okay.
3.0 or 2.9 above. And tapi bila dia compete dengan the real athletes, whoever like professionally playing for this, spend some time training and everything, you can see the huge gap.
Okay.
So apa yang aku nak cakap, nak fahamkan, apa yang nak audience faham ialah actually kau track kau punya performance based on kau punya pointer.
Okay.
Where kau punya pointer kau main dengan culture yang berbeza.
Okay.
And then the 2PR point kau compare dengan culture yang pro ataupun dah semi pro or intermediate player.
Okay.
There's a big huge gaps. Right?
Okay.
So in terms of like culturally is not fit. So because you are competing in a different culture.
Okay.
But you are still saying that you are tracking the point down the earth. Situ macam aku 3 point. Aku boleh je compete dengan pro player macam ni kan. Dia dapat the wrong tracking information kan. And then aku rasa, aku tak tahu orang setuju ke tak, tapi ni pandangan aku. Right. So the thing is like, you can see the level of gameplay is different and everything in pickleball and so on. But some people, they are really care about their ratings.
Betul.
Super care about the ratings. That's when kau tak bet dengan pickleball. Right. So I was like, and then they also wanted to make up with the, what do you call, with the trend. Yeah, they nak try to be like same level dengan dia punya trend and everything, to be upstairs and everything. So it's not wrong. Okay. It's just like whether culturally fit or not, and whether you're tracking the right progress. And kita cakap pasal progress, and Sukan Pro is about the tracking progress and everything. But whether they are tracking the right thing.
Okay.
Right? Adakah kau legit, not to say kau fufu kau ni, tapi the thing is like, you are there, you are legit, you have reliability 100% and everything, but are you fall under the right fit of culture? Are you fit on the right progressing method? So you might tracking the wrong thing. Actually by any chance kau kena track kau punya gameplay, the way that you swing your ball, the way that kau strike, the way that kau smash, the way kau lobbing and overhead and everything and so on. So I think this comes to a play that they are tracking the wrong thing, I would say. Right, they have the data, but they following the wrong thing lah. So paddle too is a different culture lah, I would say. I think paddle is kind of difficult to track. I mean, to benchmark yourself is more like a self-valuation at the moment in Malaysia, because it's like the sport punya culture tu dia tengah growing. Okay, it's not good. I mean, not fast as how pickleball is growing, right? So it's like, I think pickleball ni, there's a lot of way to measure, and some people might measure in the wrong way, because they don't have the right guidance. Itu je lah in a nutshell. But there's no proper right or wrong answer. It's more towards to, are you tracking the right way?
Betul.
Or the wrong way?
So itulah yang kita cuba bina sekarang ni.
Exactly.
Which is
tie back to that,
kita tie back balik dengan apa yang Sukan Pro nak connect dengan Gen Z ni. Okay. So aku boleh tambahkan, aku cuba nak tambahkan sikit lah. Okay. Basically kita build a platform, okay, yang mana kita ni bukannya bercakap macam lecturer. Betul tak? Okay. So platform kita tak tunjukkan data yang orang tak perlu pun pada aku lah. Kan, contoh macam kita nak track back balik kepada performance macam pickleball tu tadi kan. So kita nak lobbying, betul, nak apa lagi, sebab aku tak pernah main pickleball.
Come on.
Ya aku tahu basic lah.
Basic
Footwork, benda tu speed, benda semua tu kan. Okay, so kita punya platform ni which is kita bercakap macam kawan. Kan kita punya suggestion pun bagi tahu macam kawan, bukan macam lecturer yang bagi tahu kau gini so kau kena buat ni. No. Okay.
I think like to add that also kau punya point kita try to project the simplest simplicity.
Yes, betul.
We try to provide like a very good simple and projection that everyone can understand. Bila kau tengok app tu kau dah tahu dah kau punya kau kat mana, apa yang kau perlu buat. If you need more, then kau kena deep dive more.
Yes,
so there is always a funnel that kau boleh deep dive more. So and because like aku realise that couple of application have a lot of data, but the thing is like kau pun tak tahu apa nak baca.
Betul.
End of the day kau just reading for sake of everyone is reading.
Betul.
Tu je kan. So kita tak nak ada masalah tu aku rasa.
Betul.
That's what we try to tackle here. Kita try to tie back to your health plus your performance data that kau engage dalam sukan.
Betul. So itulah strategi sebenarnya yang brands ni kena faham sebenarnya. Okay. So kena banyakkan tunjuk pada visual kan, instead of kau tunjuk teks semata-mata, lebih baik kau pledgekan dalam bentuk visual. Lepas tu datang kau pula kau kena tunjukkan the real result. Okay, bukannya satu marketing claims. Okay, exactly. Kita tunjukkan, kita pop upkan the real results, apa yang Sukan Pro based on kau punya performance. Okay, kita ya mungkin betul ataupun mungkin tidak, ada orang dia suka extreme transformation. Okay, tapi kita talk daripada sudut general layman. Okay, which is tak semua orang nak ada extreme, nak pergi hari ni nak pergi gym, bulan depan dah ada six pack. Boleh, bukan tak boleh buat, boleh. Kau kena struggle lah. Itu kita panggil ekstrim. Kena cucuk lah apa benda. So sorry not to mention everyone. Tapi itulah kita panggil sebagai extreme transformation. Bukan tak boleh buat, boleh buat. Cuma kau kena follow. Tapi kita nak bagi you supaya bila you boleh happy kan, bila you so that you boleh fokus untuk you punya daily improvements. Okay, instead of you buat extreme transformation, at the end of the day berderai. So kita tak nak benda-benda gitu
lah. Maybe aku boleh add on juga in the same time like kita also try to ketengahkan how pro and world class people doing it, but we trying to share the similar input to everyone lah. I think that is the thing that kita try to emphasize kat sini. Okay, kau ada cakap dengan aku tadi, kau ada cakap market survey.
Okay.
Borak dengan budak Gen Z.
Okay.
Rasa macam-macam kau buat dengan dia orang ni. Tapi aku pun nak tahu lah kan. I mean it's like, I think maybe most of people want to know, right? Apa sebenarnya budak-budak Gen Z ni cari dekat fitness app ni?
Oh, okay. Based on aku punya survey lah. Okay, aku buat market survey dengan Gen Z ni. Okay, so diorang sebenarnya macam kita discuss tadi, diorang cari satu platform yang simple. Platform tu tak messy, tak ada benda yang orang susah nak faham. Sebagai salah contoh, macam mana nak cakap dia punya daripada segi performance, contoh kau nak measure, kau sebenarnya nak lari, contoh nak jogging 5 km. Okay, tapi data yang terbulit dekat kau tu, dia tunjukkan macam kau nak kena lari 42 km. Faham tak? So dia tunjuk cadence, dia tunjuk itu, tapi kau sebenarnya baru newbie. Faham tak? Unless kalau kau memang pro athlete lah, which is kau memang perlukan the cadence, stride length untuk running punya matrix. Okay, tapi kalau untuk Gen Z ni, diorang lebih suka benda yang cantik pada mata diorang, benda tu nampak clean, so tak adalah nampak macam terlalu messy lah benda tu. Tu most of the reason yang Gen Z bagi is that lah. Okay, so itu yang kita nampak kan, satu kita pun tunjuk kat diorang. Okay, this is another one opportunity, okay, which is Sukan Pro. Okay, yang mana kita provide all those things. Okay, kita provide sleep and recovery analytics, kita provide daily wellness scoring kita. Okay, kita provide coaching suggestion. Okay, so kalau you guys nak improve dari segi apa, so kita ada provide coaching. Dan macam kita beritahu dekat previous episode, kita ada female punya fokus untuk community untuk perempuan saja. So ini memang fokus untuk perempuan, dan kita punya list of kita punya kata apa, leaders Gen Z kita pun ada dekat dalam tu yang follow the trend. Kan? So mana-mana perempuan Gen Z yang mana nak join, so boleh join kita punya community yang mana kita memang fokus dekat kita ada community yang fokus dekat wanita ni. Okay, so that kita pun nak buat benda ni sebagai salah satu benda yang orang kata apa, kita nak jadi the Malaysian first data driven performance analytic ke dalam Malaysia.
Full bro, one more. Aku benda ni agak sensitif aku rasa. Tapi aku tak tahu, aku rasa nak tanya.
Silakan. Ada masa lagi? Ada masa lagi? Okay, ada masa lagi.
Aku nak tanya, kau rasa kan Gen Z ni dia suka soft life daripada hustle culture ke bro?
Okay. Oh, kau tanya aku? Aku tanya aku. Gen Z ni dia suka
soft culture daripada hustle culture ke?
Jawapan aku dua-dua. Bukan aku nak play safe tak, tapi ada Gen Z yang aku jumpa, dia orang suka soft culture. Okay, ada yang jenis hustle. Kan? So that's why aku cakap jawapan aku dua-dua. Okay, sebab benda ni kita tak adalah cakap Gen Z semata-mata, tak. Even kita punya generation pun sama je. Ada yang soft culture, ada yang jenis hustle. Okay, so there is no right or wrong sebenarnya tentang benda ni, tapi bila kita bercakap tentang performance, okay, so approach yang lebih sesuai adalah soft culture lah. And instead of macam salah satu contoh yang aku nampak depan mata aku, it's a normal bila orang buat coaching, kau pergi lari padang tu, kau lari dulu 10 kilo, dah habis lari 10 kilo kau datang balik kat aku. Itu pada aku, bila kau nak tap dengan generation sekarang, is hard.
Correct.
Okay, betul tak? Betul. So that's why kita kena blend in lah. Ada waktu yang kita boleh hustle, ada waktu yang kita boleh soft approach which is tadi. Okay, right. So I think kita dah boleh pergi kepada closing. Okay, so one last question before closing. Okay, dekat Sean.
Give me.
Apa harapan kau dengan Gen Z sekarang?
Harapan aku kat Gen Z kan, Gen Z ni sebenarnya harapan dia, put in this way lah, I think it's like Gen Z ni they carry a lot of movement. Okay. A lot of movement, right? I think they can bring a very good messenger to the people out there. So harapan aku kepada Gen Z basically not only in sport but everything, do the right movement. Okay. Bring the right impact to the culture. Keras tu.
So maknanya the rise of Gen Z ni dia bukanlah satu trend biasa.
Exactly.
Okay, so macam aku cakap tadi, this is a movement. Okay, so movement ni lah yang sebenarnya yang nak tentukan, okay, kita punya your future punya health, your future punya fitness, your future punya recovery dekat Malaysia ni. Okay, and as Sukan Pro, okay, kita sebagai salah satu apps, sebagai salah satu sebagai coaches, okay, so kita pun tak nak left behind lah.
Exactly.
Betul tak? Okay, so I think that's all for today.
Yeah, that's
right?
all for today.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening. InsyaAllah kita akan kembali lagi pada next episode. So nama saya Zaki.
And nama saya Sean. We'll see you guys again.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Peace out.
Ngam-ngam habis.
Ni mantap.